Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Lara Gerassi. I'm an associate professor at the Sandra Rosenbaum School of Social Work at the University of Wisconsin-Madison in the United States.
Can you talk a bit more about your research?
So my research aims to inform practices and policies that reduce harm for people who are in the sex trades, including those who are sex workers. We sometimes use different language in the United States, but we certainly include sex workers and folks who are in the sex trades.
Can you explain a bit more about the context of sex work laws in the USA?
So in much of the United States, prostitution policy, and I'm using that word specifically because that is in the policy, is criminalized. And so it is illegal to buy, to sell, and to pimp, very simply, or to facilitate. So that creates a very difficult context for both, most importantly, people who are in the sex trades and sex workers, and also for us researchers who want to partner with them to hopefully make lives better.
What kind of methods do you use in your research? Do you involve directly sex workers?
Yes. So my research partners with folks, we refer to it as people with lived experiences, so those who have or currently or were sex workers, for example. We also partner with community-based organizations, so the social workers, the counselors, mental health counselors, even doctors and physicians who will see and work with people in the sex trades in practice.
Can you tell me why you came today to Dignity by Design and what were your expectations about this event?
I came in part because I am French-American, je suis Franco-américaine, and I was very interested in understanding the European Union landscape much better than I do from afar. I was also really interested in connecting with researchers and people with lived experiences or sex workers to better understand just the sort of transnational implications of the research that we are doing and that others are doing, to really understand where things are similar, to also understand where there are some substantial differences. And it's been a very illuminating conference for me.
Can you describe how concretely do you work with sex workers in your research?
So we use a number of different methods. So first, most of the research that I do is community engaged, which means there is some group of people with lived experiences, in some cases sex workers, and folks who provide sex in a variety of different ways for financial compensation. So we involve people through groups that advise in the research, also through folks who work on the research, so people who coordinate the research projects. We welcome people who have the lived experiences to help coordinate the projects and be a part of the data collection and analysis to make that as relevant as possible, and both in terms of the implications that come from it to improve lives, hopefully, but also in terms of the feasibility and relevance to folks who are in the sex trades.
And how do you imagine the future of your research in this field?
Well, much of my research currently is in the United States, which we are currently going through a really terrible transition into further and further oppressive factors that really affect marginalized communities more so than more privileged communities. So certainly not only people who are sex workers, but also people who are certainly more likely to be a part of those communities who experience racial and economic minoritization and gender minoritization. So it is my hope that we figure out a way to resist these truly oppressive leaders and governmental regimes to advance our work. And I recognize that that may have to change over the next few years to really be thoughtful and protect the folks who are unfortunately made even more vulnerable by our increasingly oppressive policies in the United States.
What kind of social progress would you like for sex workers to happen in the US?
I mean, well, first of all, decriminalization is a starting point around the policies. Unfortunately, we are not in a place where we are getting much momentum about that, but certainly decriminalization of policies. Also sort of harm reduction practices, social services, so both in terms of substance use and also in terms of sexual acts, things that can really support and save lives.
Do you have other examples, other ideas?
I mean, basic fundamental rights to a social safety net, which we don't currently have and which is really under attack right now. But when we reduce power dynamics that alleviate the social conditions such that people have economic options, then the safer that folks can be in those environments. And ultimately, that's what I care about.
And so you said you're French and American. And does that have an impact on your research as well?
I don't know if I would be here if I wasn't French as well. And I think, I hope that future collaborations will include sort of folks in France, because I think there is, and perhaps the European Union at large, but certainly with the language access important around the French piece. I think there is so much that we can learn and have learned in this conference from each other about some structures and supports and ways in which we can do research that are empowering, and also the ways not to replicate and reproduce substantial harms that the communities who we partner with and study have already experienced.
Do you work sometimes with French sex workers or French?
Not yet.
Not yet?
We'll see. On verra.
So maybe it's a project you have?
You know, I think as someone whose education has been all in the United States, and my work and my relationships with community members have all been in the United States, it's really crucial that I do not come in as an American researcher who has established herself elsewhere and immediately start a study. So one of the goals here that I had was to begin building relationships with other researchers and people with lived experiences, and some who have dual roles, and some of the social workers working in associated organizations or associations. So I really view this conference as one of the preliminary steps to building out what hopefully becomes a future research agenda.